años en Santiago de Chile. Estuvimos platicando acerca de todo el movimiento espiritual y él me regaló en ese momento unos escritos de Sri Shankara, y en ese momento no realizamos, no nos dimos cuenta. Se había plantado una semilla, la cual hoy se hace realidad. Para nosotros, que Ricardo vuelva, después de ya 3 veces, es un privilegio que haya hecho esto realidad aún más. Entonces quiero, la verdad, pedirles un fuerte aplauso para Ricardo. Siempre de estar constantemente ayudándonos. Nadie mejor que él les puede decir, el ser humano que va a estar con nosotros nos va a llenar de muchísimas cosas, mucha dicha, mucha paz. Les presento a Ricardo.
Rápidamente unas mañanitas para Gabriel, que es su cumpleaños hoy. Él tiene un tremendo título en la India y me exigió que lo llamáramos Shankar, que lo llamáramos por su primer nombre, ¿sí? Reconociendo que así como nos relacionamos en nuestra cultura, él, aparte de los 11 años, comenzar a conocer y encontrar algo muy especial en su amigo de infancia, que luego se torna en un maestro mundial, que gran parte de ustedes saben, que hoy es Bhagavan. Él, por linaje de su madre, a los 7 años conoce personalmente a Krishnamurti. Su madre traducía todos los escritos de Krishnamurti en diferentes lenguas. Krishnamurti iba a almorzar a su casa, a comer a su casa, y él, siendo un niño prodigio muy especial, en un momento Krishnamurti mismo le pide que tome la dirección de sus escuelas. Parte de su viaje personal es que a él le tocó ver la parte hermosa del viaje de acompañar a maestros, y él compartió en su corazón de que la bendición más grande es tener el regalo de estar en la presencia de un maestro. Pero nunca pudo estar de acuerdo con los fenómenos posteriores al maestro, que son situaciones que ocurren con sus organizaciones. Y eso lo hace en un momento tener que abandonar la escuela de Krishnamurti. Eso en un momento lo hace también tener que alejarse un poco de todo este crecimiento expansivo y descontrolado de almas. Y él se vuelca luego 11 años hacia el interior, luego de exponer y dejar a Bhagavan establecido como un maestro mundial, porque él queda todos los primeros pasos junto a él. ¿Sí? Comienzan con 14 niños en una escuela donde tuvieron que dormir las primeras noches en un piso de cemento junto a Bhagavan y él, ¿sí? Porque no tenían más fondos para comenzar el sueño, que se lanzaron al vacío, ¿no? Y hoy él ha recibido el llamado nuevamente de salir a enseñar, en la realización de todo lo que recibió de todos sus maestros, porque también se impregna de otro maestro de la Paita Vedanta del norte de la India, y se pega un viaje en todo lo que es la astrología y se mete en estos estados que le llaman el Antarmuka, que es, ya les vale contar de que hay un periodo de edad donde en la India tradicionalmente uno abandona todo lo mundano y uno se vuelca solo hacia la última realización, que es moksha. Este curso es de eso, esta conferencia es de eso. Está basada en una línea fuerte de la India que es el Jnana Yoga, la yoga del autoconocimiento y de la comprensión. Él quiere que hagan todas las preguntas que quieran. Él me dijo, los buscadores espirituales están llenos de preguntas. Estamos llenos de cosas que no hemos terminado. Quiero tener un diálogo, ¿sí? Se van a poder hacer muchas preguntas, van a poder. Yo les pido que cuando hagan sus preguntas se pongan de pie para que el resto del grupo los escuche, ¿no? Y disfrútenlo, absórbenlo. Y lo más abiertamente aprendamos y crezcamos, que es nuestro crecimiento interno, que es lo más importante de todo. ¿Ok?
So, how do we begin?
Namaste.
Begin with a prayer? Yeah.
Sí, vamos a comenzar con esta oración.
Namaste. There will be 3 short Sanskrit chants which Shankaraji will do. But to start with, I will read them all one by one, and Ricardoji will translate them in Spanish. Then he will chant all the 3 slokas at one time. Om, may he protect us both, teacher and the taught. May he look after us both to enjoy the fruits of scriptural study. May we both exert together to find the true meaning of the sacred text. May our studies be fruitful so that we acquire lustre. May we never quarrel with each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. The second chant, O ye gods, may we always hear with our ears what is auspicious. O worshipful ones, may we with our eyes always see what is auspicious. May we live the entire span of our allotted life, hale and hearty. Offering our praises unto Thee. May Indra, the ancient and the famous, Pushan, Sun, the all-knowing, the Lord of swift motion, Vayu, who saves us from all harms, and Brahaspati, who protects the spiritual wealth in us. bless us with intellectual strength
nos bendiga con
to understand the scripture
fuerza intelectual para entender las escrituras,
and the resolute heart to follow the teaching.
la suficiente resolución para seguir estas escrituras.
Oh, peace, peace, peace.
Que prevalezca la paz, la paz, la paz.
And the final chant. Oh, may all become auspicious.
Que todo se torne auspicioso,
May all attain peace.
que todos alcancemos la paz,
May all achieve perfection.
que todos alcancemos la perfección,
May all be blessed.
que todos seamos bendecidos.
Namaste. Now we will chant in Sanskrit.
Escuchamos el canto en sánscrito. Vamos a cerrar nuestros ojos y hacer una oración.
Om Sahana Bhavato Sahanau Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karnebihi Shrinuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabir Yajatraha Sthirairangaistuštuvagum Shastanubihi Vyasema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vriddashravaha Swasti nak Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarksho Harishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspati Dhadato. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarvesham Swastirbhavato Sarvesham Shantirbhavato Sarvesham Purnam Bhavato Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavato. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste to everybody. Please take your seats. I am so happy to be here in Mexico City, and I know that we cannot in any way adequately repay the affection and the warm hospitality extended to us by your spiritual leader, Sri Ricardo Ji of Uruguay, and by my host, Sri Maggie Ji and her entire family, who has practically put her house at our disposal. And likewise, my gratitude to the team of about 10 people, without whose dedication and application this Atmajnana Yajna cannot actually come to pass. So, may God, who is above us, may He be kind to all of us, and may He make the 2-day retreat fruitful because of your sincerity, your dedication, and because of our sincerity and our dedication. We are going to go on a journey of exploration, and for each of us, for each of the 60 of us, we have to take this personal journey into the dark corners of our consciousness where we may not have been before. And if you look at the world, then there are the various religions: Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Zoroastrianism, Sikhism, and so on. And there are spiritual seekers who may be laboring within the field of these religions. It may not be necessary for anybody to take any notes, but just to listen. Give me your hearts, and I give you my sincerity. Just listen to me and travel with me, and enter into this exploration and this inquiry into our spiritual life. So there are people laboring inside the various religions who are following religious practices and who are seeking the light of God or peace. And then you see another section of humanity, vast numbers who have walked out of their religions, disconnected themselves from their religions, who do not have the support of their religions, support of their religion and the guidance from the religion, and they are probably going to various spiritual masters, people who are showing the way, people who are genuine, and then trying to come to grips with the seemingly endless suffering in our life. So there are two sections of humanity. A section of humanity which is probably in the minority, and for whom religion is a solace, not a salvation. You just come to go to your church or go to your temple, go to your God as a refuge so that there is something for you to hold on and something for you to feel that somebody cares for you, that somebody is blessing you, and therefore you get some solace, you get some comfort. But the purpose of every religion is not merely to give this anchorage, but to give salvation, the complete connection to God, going back home. And because the religions have failed, a number of spiritual masters and spiritual teachings have arisen. Some of these teachings are rooted in one or other of the religions. Sometimes the teachings are original, they are not rooted in the religions at all. You find different kinds of teachings in the world. And then there are people working with these religions because they find the masters to be very sincere and the masters to be great examples to follow. And so you find this spiritual pursuit and the spiritual application. And why are we doing the whole thing? Whether we do this in the field of religion or we do it outside the field of religion, we are in the pursuit because there is something in our life which is in the nature of a mess, tremendous pain, tremendous loneliness, a great deal of uncertainty about the future, and a tremendous burden of the past. Tremendous burden. And every true religion has to do its job of purging the past, taking away the past from you, and emptying the future so that you are rooted in the present and you get salvation. That's the function of every religion. To wipe away our suffering, to wipe it away, so that we become free of that suffering. We are free, everlastingly free. And once you are free, then begins the inquiry and the investigation into the divine. But unless and until we first become free of the burden that is in us, we have no qualification and we have no spiritual merit in order to pursue the divine, in order to know the divine, and in order to marry the divine. So first is the cleansing, is the complete dying to every experience and the falling away of our burdens and the pain, so that we have not a thought of tomorrow, and then we are free. The mind is fresh, it is very alive. And then you can inquire into the whole question of who you are and who is God. Because that's the real function of the religions. To understand yourself and to understand God. So that life becomes blessed, life becomes peaceful, and you don't have any questions. You don't have a sense of separation and a sense of division between you and your life partner, between you and another person. And so that's the real purpose of the spiritual pursuit. Got to get into these waters in the next 2 days. And it's a personal journey for us, because for each of us, the path is different. The path is through our personal life, through every small incident, through every hurt, through every profound disappointment, through every grief which has still got a charge. Through that forest, we've got to travel. And so the whole, I'm using Hindu terminology because I happen to come from a Hindu land. And Atmajnana, I've used 2 or 3 Sanskrit words just to help us. Atma is the self, not the outer self with the thoughts and feelings which we claim to be our personal property and our personal treasure. Not the thoughts and the feelings, but there is an imperceptible inner self. An inner self which is so subtle that it is difficult to perceive it and difficult to know that we are that self. Because that self is devoid of any personality. It is timeless, it is birthless, and it is deathless. And to know that we are that self. And that self is called Atma. Or in some spiritual literature, the people refer to it as the over-soul. The over-soul. The soul is the deepest part of the consciousness that we know. And then beyond that soul is the over-soul, or the supreme self, which we don't seem to know. And the spiritual life has to ultimately culminate in the